What is this place with such a strange name? Let's go check it out. It's time to make the cut. The Fisch Cut. We're continuing our road trip to Las Vegas, but still have a couple stops before we hit the Strip. Most people driving between Southern California and Vegas fly past this next exit without a second thought. Well, maybe just a moment of confusion. Hidden deep in the Mojave Desert is one of the strangest places in California, Zzyzx Road. And yes, it's actually pronounced Zzyzx, and it has that many Z's. The name was invented in the 1940s by a man named Curtis Howe Springer, a radio evangelist and self-proclaimed doctor who claimed this remote desert spring had miraculous healing powers. But long before Zzyzx Road and the spa existed, this area was already important to the people who lived here for thousands of years. The Mojave Desert may look empty today, but ancient indigenous groups, including the Mojave and the Chemehuevi peoples, traveled through and survived in this harsh environment long before modern highways crossed the desert. Water was everything, and that's what made this area so significant. Nearby sits Soda Dry Lake, a massive ancient lake bed that was once filled with water during wetter prehistoric periods thousands of years ago. Over time, the lake dried up, leaving behind huge white mineral flats that stretch across the desert floor. Even today, the bright surface almost looks frozen or snow-covered from a distance. Ancient trade routes once crossed this region as tribes moved between water sources throughout the Mojave. The natural springs near Zzyzx became valuable stopping points in one of the harshest climates in North America. And later, during the 1800s, explorers, railroad workers, and miners also passed through these same desert corridors searching for water, silver, and new routes across the West. That's part of what makes Zzyzx feel so strange today. For thousands of years, people have been drawn to this isolated patch of desert, all because of water emerging from the middle of nowhere. That's why Springer built a health spa here called the Zzyzx Mineral Springs and Health Resort. He advertised it as a peaceful desert paradise where people could escape modern life, heal their bodies, and drink what he called mineral-rich spring water. People traveled from all over the country to stay here. The resort featured palm trees, small buildings, baths, gardens, and man-made ponds sitting right in the middle of one of the harshest deserts in America. By the 1970s, the strange desert empire Curtis Howe Springer built at Zzyzx was beginning to collapse. For decades, Springer had claimed to be a doctor and promoted the area as a healing retreat filled with miracle mineral waters and natural cures. But investigations eventually revealed that many of his medical claims were fraudulent. He wasn't a licensed physician, and many of the treatments and medicines he sold had little or no proven medical value. Springer claimed to hold dozens of degrees and titles, but many were fake or unverifiable. At the same time, the federal government discovered that Springer had been occupying the land illegally for years. Much of the property sat on public land controlled by the federal government, and authorities argued that Springer had essentially taken over the area without proper ownership. In 1974, the government finally evicted Springer and shut down the resort. After decades of attracting visitors to the middle of the Mojave Desert, the once busy health spa was abandoned almost overnight. Curtis Howe Springer died just a few years later in 1985. Today, remnants of the old resort still remain scattered across the property. Old buildings, ponds, palm trees, and pathways sitting quietly in the desert as reminders of one of California's strangest roadside stories. Today, what remains of the old resort is used by the Desert Studies Center operated by California State University. Visitors can drive out here, walk around parts of the property, and experience the eerie silence of the Mojave firsthand. Just don't go into the restricted areas. Now, as I was walking around, I couldn't help but think about how this would be a great remote hunting ground for a serial killer. It's so quiet and lonely. Oh, but I think it's time to go. And the desert surrounding Zzyzx can also be dangerous. Summer temperatures regularly climb well above 110 degrees. There are rattlesnakes, scorpions, and miles of isolated terrain with no cell service. And after sunset, the entire area takes on an almost surreal feeling. Abandoned buildings, empty roads, desert winds, and total darkness stretching for miles. It feels less like California and more like the set of a forgotten sci-fi movie. As a matter of fact, the strange atmosphere surrounding Zzyzx has even made its way into movies and pop culture. In 2006, a horror thriller called Zzyzx Road, but spelled a little differently, used the mysterious desert location and its eerie reputation as inspiration for its title and setting. Infamously, the movie, which starred Tom Sizemore and Katherine Heigl, and was designed and released to just satisfy Screen Actors Guild requirements, had the lowest grossing box office opening in US history, taking in only $30. The area's abandoned roads, isolated desert landscape, and unsettling silence have made it a natural backdrop for stories involving mystery, survival, and psychological horror. And honestly, once you're standing out here surrounded by empty desert and abandoned structures, it's really easy to understand why. The place already feels like a movie set. Even the name itself sounds fictional, like something from a sci-fi movie or a forgotten government experiment. So the next time you see that Zzyzx Road exit sign on the way to Vegas, you might want to take a detour, because some of the strangest stories in America are hiding right off the highway. As a bonus, and since we're now pretty close to Las Vegas, let's make a quick stop at 7 Magic Mountains. No, this isn't from Lord of the Rings, so I doubt we'll see any hobbits or orcs, but it is just about 17 miles south of Vegas in the middle of the desert. And they aren't really mountains at all. These massive, colorful towers almost look like they were dropped here by aliens, or maybe by someone with a lot of leftover paint. The installation was created by Swiss artist Ugo Rondinone and opened in 2016. His goal was to create a contrast between the natural world and human creativity, stacking bright neon-colored boulders against the massive emptiness of the Mojave Desert. Each monolith stands about 30 feet tall and is made from huge locally sourced limestone boulders that weigh between 10 and 25 tons each. There are 33 in all that are stacked vertically, and they're painted in vivid day-glow fluorescent colors which are activated by the sun. Due to weathering, they have already had to be repainted twice. This towering display was originally supposed to be temporary and remained for only about 2 years, but it became so popular that it kept getting extended. And honestly, standing out here, it feels strange in the best way possible, like the desert spontaneously grew modern art from its sand. An ancient lake, indigenous history, a desert spa built on promises, and giant colorful rocks in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes the most unexpected places end up teaching us the most. Places like these that seem empty can remind us that growth doesn't always come from classrooms or books. Sometimes it comes from standing somewhere strange, asking questions, and seeing things for yourself. Because if we're willing to stay curious and keep exploring, we'll usually hear more than just a story. We'll find meaning between the lines. This is the Fisch Cut.